Welcome students. In this video we're going to talk about distance and displacement. So let's say you're given your position is going to be the integral from 0 to 6 of the velocity. So this is your velocity function. So you're given your velocity and you're given the interval from 0 to 6. So the position, when you take the integral, is going to, without plugging in the endpoints, is gonna give you this function, t cubed over cube. You take the integral, you're gonna give you t cubed over cube plus 3 squared plus over 2 minus 10t. So to find your displacement, you have to take the integral and then plug in your endpoint. So it's gonna be s of t going from 0 to 6. So displacement is where is the distance where you start and where you end. That's your displacement. So now 0 to 6. So it's gonna give you so you plug in 6 into here, so that's gonna give you 6 cubed over 3 plus 6 squared over 2 minus 10 times 6. And then if you plug in 0 here, it's gonna give you 0, so it's minus 0. And when you do the calculation, that's gonna give you 66 feet. And that's your displacement. To find your total distance, that's gonna be a different calculation. So you're gonna take your velocity function, which is equal to t squared minus 3t, and you're gonna factor it, and you're gonna find out where the velocity is negative and positive. So when you factor, let's do an x, minus 10, minus 3. So you need to find two numbers that multiply together gives you negative 10 and added gives you negative 3. So let's look at negative 2 and 5. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 2 plus 5 is negative 3. So this is equal to x t minus 2 and t plus 5. So when is this negative? When t is less than 2, between 0 and 2. Because look, if you plug in 1, this 1 minus 2 is negative, and this will become negative 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, plus times 6 is negative 6. Okay, so that's negative. So this tells us that velocity is greater than 0 when t is greater than 2, and velocity is less than 0 when t is between 0 and 2. Okay. Alright, so now to find total distance is gonna equal to s of t between 0 and 2. But remember, this is minus because in this here your velocity is negative, so we need to put a minus. So when you take the integral, you have to put a minus because your velocity is negative. So it's minus pt. Remember that. So it's minus and then plus s of t. This is when the velocity is positive, so we don't need to put any negative sign. So it's between 2 and 6. So when you plug in 0 to 2 here, it's gonna give you 11.33 and then plus, and if you plug in 2 to 6, it's gonna give you 77.33, and this is an approximate. So now this is approximate. It's gonna give you 88.6667. Remember, this is in feet, so your position is in feet, and then your velocity is in feet per second. All right. So now total distance. You notice total distance is greater than your displacement, and that makes sense because total distance it does not take into account going forward or going backward. It just takes the total distance. If you go forward, you add. If you go backward, you add. It's always adding. Sometimes it will be negative because you're going. The function might do something different, but most the total distance is just how you going backward, forward, total distance, and then your displacement is how you start going from beginning to end, from position you start to position you end. That's what displacement is. Thank you very much, students.